Hello, in this video, I'll try to explain and clarify some things regarding to find what information. So for this course, we are going to have two major places for information. One is Blackboard, and then the other is really online somewhere else. So I would start with the Blackboard. We use Blackboard to collect assignments. So if you go to lessons, you'll see the quizzes and the assignments. And then also you can go to the syllabus, and then there's a link to the week schedule. So let me emphasize this. Okay, let's start with the syllabus. So we have a syllabus, and then there's a very important link here. In fact, I make this super big, and so this is the link to our weekly schedule, and that is the one go-to place to find everything else. So I'm gonna keep adding uh, information or everything we cover in this class to the week schedule as time goes on, and you can bookmark that link. And here's a short URL, so you can write it down. So you, wherever you are, if you have a browser, you can type into this URL, you will get to the weekly schedule. So this is outside of Blackboard, and it's intentional. Here's why. Blackboard has similar features, so I can post a file, I can have a forum, but everything happens inside the Blackboard, and a user has to have SBU login to see the information. But we're going to have outside sponsors, and they won't be able to do that. So I intentionally move quite a bit of the communication part outside of Blackboard. Another advantage is that once the semester is over, some student may want to work on the project or get information about the project. So thus everything outside the Blackboard will still be available after the course is over. So okay, so this is the weekly schedule. This is the most important document for this class. As you can see, we have weekly objectives, resources, links to the resources, and assignments, including the due dates. If you click on the link, it will take you to the assignment description, and will tell you to submit the work via a Dropbox on Blackboard. So a Dropbox on Blackboard looks like this, and many of you have used it. And so here, in the description, there's a link to the instructions. So you can actually get to the instructions for the assignment from here as well. And the nice thing about those Dropboxes is I can easily collect the work and give you a grade, and the grades show up on your gradebook automatically. And also, if you go to the course calendar, you can see those due dates as well. Yes, okay, you can see when they're assigned and when they're due. So that's very convenient. But that's pretty much what we do with Blackboard, and I sometimes send announcements. But since we have another communication tool, which is outlined in the weekly schedule, let me get to it. And I expect that we do most of the communication on this Google forum. Okay, so it was brought to my attention that there's some issues with this, and again, we're trying to use some advanced tools and this kind of tool to facilitate this kind of collaborative work by teams that are highly distributed, right? We rarely see each other, and you had to work together in the evenings over the weekend. So we need to be able to communicate asynchronously in a very convenient fashion. So with the Google Groups, as I mentioned earlier, that this is a communication tool. It is actually a mailing list plus a forum. So as a forum, if you go to that link and you have login, you're a member of this group, you can see this interface. So we have threads of discussions. So you can look at those, and everything, all the discussion that have happened are archived, so we never lose any information. So in fact, I have a project thread. So for each project, I expect you to have your discussion here. And this is a public forum. This is a forum. So whenever you, let's see, you go to a post, for example here, and then you click on reply, as you can see there is a double arrow. So by default it's reply all, it's a broadcast. So when you reply and you type a message, then everybody in this group gets notified by email, and that's expected. That's what a forum is for. And but if you want to reply privately, you have to click on this little drop down arrow and then select this. Okay, so this is the default behavior and additional behavior. Okay, so this forum doubles as a mailing list, but I just noticed that, well, it was brought to my attention that the default behavior of that mailing list is slightly different, so that can be confusing. So for example, I got this email just recently. So okay, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna use this as example. So I have some messages from the group. So if you click on reply, this actually is reply. It replies to the author, a one person. Well, that's fine if you want a private communication with the author, but if you want a broadcast message, which is what I want you to do, because we're trying to keep communications in the open, so and different teams knows what other teams are doing, so they can borrow ideas and learn from each other. So most of the time, I would like for you to actually reply all, so that your message gets added to the forum. So it's public. So, but with the email interface, you'll have to click on the drop down and select on. Okay, let's see. Oh, actually, this won't work because this is a private message. Let's look at this one. This is from the forum, so you have to select. Not this one. Okay, so turn out that those are not the messages from the forum. Okay, let me look at a message from the forum. So, well, the Google group has a mailing list address. So that address, when we send a message to that address, we are effectively posting a message to the forum. It's a group message. It's a broadcast. So now, okay, let's look at this. I can reply to myself, or to the author of this post, this message, or I can drop down and select. Let's see. Okay, let's try this. I can do a reply to all. So this is actually what I want you to do, because when you do this, not only the author receives your response, everyone else can see your response. And this is really what I want you to do most of the time in group discussions and other discussions. So I've realized this can be confusing. So okay, hopefully this helped clarify things. So again, just to recap, we have weekly schedule. This is a go-to place for everything else. And then you can see all the assignment, you can see the due dates, but you have to turn them in through Blackboard, because that's how I grade things. But then all the other communication happens in the open. We have those shared documents. Everyone, including the sponsors, can edit and have access to. And we also have this group forum, this Google group, and where you can see all the discussions, and if you do it correctly, you can easily send a message to the whole group, and you'll get notified if anyone posts a new message, so you can stay on the task. Okay, the one last thing I would like to mention is the Trello board. We haven't used it yet, but it's gonna become very useful in pretty soon. Okay, online discussion using a forum is convenient, but once you get some tasks identified, to really manage those tasks requires some more sophisticated software. And so Trello is a Kanban board online, and it's designed as a project management tool. It allows you to have teams on tasks and then assign tasks, and also just comment and have communication and set deadlines. Some additional features that you don't have in this kind of in the group email. So we're going to use that later to work on the task. And again, the tools I just mentioned, the way we're doing this is different. There's overhead. It takes time to learn those tools and to try to use them effectively. But again, I think this is we're paying a price, but hopefully we can reap the benefit in the long run. And since this course is a lot about technologies, I think it's okay. It's probably beneficial for us to practice learning new things and leverage those tools to our benefit. I hope you're not too confused, and if you have other questions, you need more explanation, I'll be happy to provide that. Thank you.